Hello, it is a new year and I hope you're all doing really well. I hope that those of you who have celebrated Christmas or the New Year have had a really lovely holiday, a nice break. And as has become tradition on this podcast, I'll be doing a New Year's resolutions episode. And the proper way to start that episode, I believe, is by looking back at the previous year, reminding ourselves of what my resolutions were for the previous year and seeing if I've been able to stick to them at all, which I don't usually ever do. And I think there are many of us who make New Year's resolutions and we don't tend to stick to them. But let's just review them anyway and see what happened. So last year, there were 3 New Year's resolutions that I made. One of them was to take more care of my physical health. Another one was to take more care of my mental health. And another one was to study Japanese more. I guess those are the 3 things that I sort of wanted to put the most effort into in my life to perhaps change the most. Having said that, the mental health one was a bit of a weird one that I just sort of threw in there at the last minute, I suppose. And the only reason it really ended up going in there is just because of my job being rather stressful lately. It probably wouldn't have made it in otherwise. But what I meant by mental health in my case was just finding more time to relax, finding more time to de-stress. Anyway, I'll talk about that one first. So, do I think I have achieved that New Year's resolution? No, I do not. But to be fair, I don't really feel like I've done much towards it at the same time. And I suppose the reason for that is, well, the thing that's causing the stress in the first place is my job, right? And that takes a lot of time out of my day. And perhaps what's worse for me is because I work remotely, there's no clean separation between home life and work life. It's sort of all merged together. And it really doesn't help that my company is in a different time zone, in the UK time zone. I'm here in Japan time zone. And when I finish work, they've only just started working. They've just been working for an hour or two. And so there's a part of me that sort of feels obliged to sort of stay around a bit longer to see if everything's okay. I've done some work during the day and then it's going to be used after I stop working. So there's a part of me that sort of feels responsible to sort of hang around and just see if everything's fine. And on more than a few occasions, more occasions than I would have liked, it's been the case that I've done something, it's not quite been right, and I've corrected it. And this has been after my work is finished. So I do really miss that sort of clean separation where, you walk out of your building where you work or wherever you might work, and it's just switch off, it's my free time now. So that doesn't really help. I suppose what I could have done is try to do something completely different in the mornings. So, I spend all day in front of a computer doing my work, and I suppose I could have tried to spend less time on a computer in the mornings. And when I say computer, I guess I mean in front of a screen, really, whether that's a laptop or a mobile phone or something, or a television screen, less time in front of a screen. So I suppose I could have gone for walks more. I mean, I did go for walks, but maybe I should have, gone for more frequent ones or longer ones. One thing that would have helped is meditation. I find that's always a good way to de-stress, but I also find it's hardest to do when you need to do it. The easiest time to meditate, for me, I would say, is when I'm feeling relaxed, which is probably the time that I don't really need to do it so much. But when I do need to do it, it's I don't know, I'm too stressed out to meditate. I'm thinking about other things and things I've got to do and things that haven't been done yet, which is exactly why I should be meditating so I can stop thinking about those things so often. Anyway, let's just say there is room for improvement there. Then the next thing I'll talk about is the way that I wanted to focus a bit more on my health. I suppose to some tiny degree, maybe I have been doing that. As you know, I've been a bit more conscious about my weight. Not that I've really got anything wrong with my weight in the first place. There's nothing problematic with it. I should just stress that. It's perfectly always been fine within the BMI. I've never been overweight or anything like that. It's just I wanted, my stomach to look a little more flat. So I have been losing weight, and that's going well. It's all fine. I suppose what I really should be doing is actually trying to get more exercise. Well, actually, eating more healthy would be nice as well. I don't think I eat particularly poorly, to be perfectly honest with you. I think I have quite a reasonably varied diet. But I do think there's, room for improvement, like the last thing. For example, I would like to have more vegetables. And I'm saying this even though I don't eat a lot of meat. Anyway, I'm not the world's biggest fan of meat, to be perfectly honest. Especially like red meats, which is good because those are the meats that are the worst for you. But I have noticed since moving to Japan that I seem to eat less vegetables, and it's not by choice. It's just the meals over here, the cuisine, is that a good word for it? The style of food over here often doesn't have that many vegetables in it. It has vegetables in it, yes, of course. But I mean like the quantity isn't quite as much. So I'll often have something like some soup, and there'll be some vegetables in the soup, but it's a small amount of soup to begin with, and there'll just be some vegetables in the soup, or I don't know, some vegetables sort of in some fried rice sort of thing. But there's never like the equivalent to what I would be eating back in England, where you've just got like something like a roast dinner, and you've just got like a pile of peas, pile of carrots, pile of potatoes, I don't know, broccoli, cauliflower, butter beans, runner beans, different kinds of beans, sometimes some like bubble and squeak on your plate, if you know what that is. I think that's quite a British thing, perhaps. I don't know, you can have turnips, butternut squash. I'm not a fan of either of those, to be perfectly honest with you. But you can just get these big piles of vegetables and some meat to accompany it. And I know it must sound incredibly boring, and in some sense it is, because there's almost, there's very little in the way of preparation there, isn't there? The preparation is like peeling a potato or something like that, or peeling a carrot and like chopping it up. So it's almost like the vegetable is in its sort of purest form. Well, it would be purer if it was raw, but I mean like its purest cooked form. Whereas lots of other meals, you will do something with them. You'll mix in the vegetables into something, I don't know, into some pasta and make some lasagna or something like that. But no, the old-fashioned sort of roast dinners that we have in England, there's something pure about them, I'd like to say. Maybe pure is the wrong word. Basic. There's something basic about them, but not necessarily basic in a bad way. I did used to eat a lot of vegetables, a lot more vegetables, and I did used to have a lot of fibre in my diet. One thing I could do more over here, and I would like to do more of, is consuming more fruit, which is a bit of a pain to do. Sort of like in the same way it's a bit of a pain to eat more vegetables, because they are expensive. Vegetables over here are expensive. Fruit over here is expensive. In fact, eating healthily over here is expensive. But either way, it's it shouldn't be an excuse, and there's certainly no reason why I shouldn't be able to get more exercise. I mean, the gym's expensive, but you can go on walks for free and things like that. So I'm going to mark that one down as a failure. But then again, there's I'm being a bit more careful about my weight, so I'm going to say it's like half of a failure, I suppose. Then the final one, the Japanese study, has not gone well at all. I'm going to mark that one down as a complete failure. Oh, I don't know. Am I being too harsh on myself? I mean, I feel like I've not really pushed myself to do anything beyond listening to podcasts and beyond like the Japanese that I get to experience just because I'm living in Japan, Japanese study. So, my wife communicating with me in Japanese, but with me always replying in English, I don't think I've, really been pushing myself as much as I should have been. But studying is something I always find I can do best when I've got like more energy and a better mood. And, the stress thing hasn't been great lately. So I'm going to partially use that as an excuse. But yeah, really, I could have tried harder. I know that. So I'm gonna mark that one as, let's mark that one as a failure. Right, we are at the end of the episode, and I suppose just before I go, I should make some New Year's resolutions for this year. I'm not going to come up with anything out of the ordinary. I'm just going to stick to the same three that I had last year. I think they are probably still the most important. I can't think of anything new I'd like to add, and I don't feel like I've achieved the last three well enough to just say like, don't need to do those anymore. So, let's just stick to the same three as last year. Relaxing a bit more, de-stressing, trying to get a bit more exercise. Please, just even if it's just walking regularly, let's do that. I don't know, maybe like stick to like 7,000 steps a day. That's meant to be a good recommended target, isn't it? And then, what's the last one? Oh yes, Japanese, of course. I've got to do something about that this year. Let's get that sorted out. Anyway, I look forward to reviewing this episode again next year, and the start of next year, and let's see how things have gone. Let's see if there's been any improvements. I think I have a feeling there will be. I feel more optimistic about this year for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see how things go. Okay, if you are also making any New Year's resolutions this year, then I wish you all the best with them. Until next time, bye-bye.